up, man? This is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new music Crusaders. Obviously, I'm not JJ. She'll be back real soon. There's a new kiddo in the family. Many blessings out there. But I'm introduce her legendary co-host. You know what I mean? The one, the only, the most murderous doctor on the scene, Mr. Caleb. How you doing, bro?
Hey. I accidentally lowered my seat, but yeah, I'm doing good.
Here we go. You're getting smaller, bro. Come on, bro. Pick yourself up there. Everything's all right. Don't you get nervous because we have an amazing guest today. This is a dope band, bro. I mean, I've been pumped up on their tracks all day. We have the amazing basis of a band named Dart Below. They got some fire tracks that we're going to put you on and introduce the one, the only, the amazingly talented Mr. Josh. Bro, what up, homie? How you doing?
What's up, boys? How's it going?
I'm doing good, hermano. Yo, thanks for joining us. Talk some music, talk about Dark Below, all them hot tracks. What inspires that rock music? What gets you jamming on that bass, and what even inspired that, the big homie? We need to learn, because we love our good origin stories. As always, it's just a method, as part of our little common crusader culture. So, introduce yourself. From where you from? And what was the first band you ever fell in love with that maybe inspired the journey you went on?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm here from Columbia, Missouri. If you're familiar, it's halfway between St. Louis and Kansas City. Mizzou Tigers and all that fun stuff. That's where we're out of. And I grew up small town right up the road from here. So the Blue Note is our big music venue here in town. And when I was a kid, Buckcherry was all the rage. Our local radio station played them all the time. And the album with Crazy Bitch, I think it was called 5, if I remember correctly, just dropped. They were touring that, and I think I was around maybe 12 years old, somewhere in there. My mom decided she wanted to take me to see Buckcherry for my first real rock concert at the Blue Note. My dad was not 100% on board. He was like, "Are you sure? Like, it might be bad." So my mom, of course, won out like all moms do. And so we went and saw Buckcherry at the Blue Note. They crushed it as always, repping that new record. Lots of bad words that a 12-year-old can take home with them. And watch the lead singer up there go off to the side of the stage and do extracurriculars and all that fun stuff. Crowd going wild. And from that point on, I was like, well, I'd like to be in a rock band. That would be pretty awesome. So that was kind of the turning point for me, overall.
Gotcha. Caleb, go ahead, brother. I'll give you a question and then I'll go. We're going to take turns over here.
Well, the Crazy Bitch song, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for a 12-year-old.
Hey, man, it's nothing compared to what kids are looking at these days with, the TikTok and the Google palm of your hand. So, facts of life and all that. Cool mom, right?
So did you start already branching out, asking for other musicians, or did you already know some friends that were already doing some things, or how'd you come about actually going into it?
Oh, okay. So Craigslist, back when that was a thing.
Craigslist?
Yeah, Craigslist, dude.
Oh man, holy shit! I was from New York, but yeah, Craigslist. You know what? I got several copies of the first appearance of Deadpool thanks to Craigslist for $1 back in the day.
Hell yeah! So I mean, the origin story of the band as a whole, and for me as a musician, comes from Craigslist. So I mean, going from being a kid watching those local shows at our music venues to moving towards my freshman year in college. One of my good buddies from high school, he started playing and writing music with this dude on Craigslist. And the running joke is he told him to come through the basement door and, he may or may not murder him, that sort of thing. So they wrote some songs for months to a year possibly. And one day, my buddy, who was the original drummer, was like, "Hey, man, come over for practice. We're going to hang out, drink some beers, all that good stuff." So I show up. They're jamming out. And then they hand me a bass guitar. And they're like, "Well, you can kind of play guitar, so you should just play this." And I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, no. Like, I'm not interested." Yeah. I was like, "No." And they were like, "No, go on ahead. Like, we need somebody to play bass, and we like you." So I was like, Oh shit. Okay. So they handed me 4 songs, like 4 sheet music songs, which I didn't know how to read. The guitar player had to tab them out for me. And that was the start. I mean, from that point on, we practiced our asses off, went to our first open mic, sounded terrible. And then, we're 10 years removed from that point. So it's been a journey.
A lot of people sleep on bassists, man, but like I've been really getting into them lately and like going back like in the 70s and 80s and stuff. And like,
oh yeah.
Well, growing up, I was always like solo guitars and going crazy for that. And like now I've gotten into like, dude, he's killing it with the bass over here, and no one's even talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you notice when it's not there, and you barely notice when it is there, and that's the thing. Is like, there's a lot that goes on that people don't pick up on unless it's not there.
So, did you eventually learn to read notes?
So I'm more play by ear at this point. It's gotten to the point where it's like, we play typically in C, and so a lot of our, notes that we're running on, go from point A to point B. If we change that tuning, I might need a little assistance here and there, but I typically can just do it by ear instead of reading sheet music. Long story short, sheet music and music theory, not a strong suit. Our drummer, believe it or not, is the one that knows all that stuff, and he starts talking to me, and I'm like, dude, just make it easy. Like, I'll get it figured out. Just start. Like, we'll go.
Terms, give me the beat. I'll go with it.
100%. We'll get it clicked in. We'll be all right.
Oh shit! I love it. I love it. Caleb?
No, I just think it'd be funny if bands started coming out with sheet music and little stands.
It does happen on occasion, believe it or not. You see those guys that walk up with their like iPads or their phones or whatever, and it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, I have the capacity to just play, direct. I don't know if I could read off and do it at the same time, especially live.
Keeping a lot of their set list on there too, and like telling everybody what we're going to switch to next and all that.
Oh yeah. I mean, we typically when we go up, we have a dialed in set list, and like, this is what we're running off of. This is gonna, be the motion of the show for us here.
I bet. So what was like your first performance then?
First performance was an open mic night. I think we played like 4 or 5 songs, and it was probably the most nervous I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I'm not one to shy away from public speaking, being on stage. I played all the sports in high school, all that fun stuff, but going up there to like 12 people that I knew and then playing this open mic, and to be honest with you, we were fucking terrible. I mean, we were so bad. And, we walk off there and it's like, that's the best thing ever. And then you look back on it and it's like, oh man, what were we doing?
Wait, were you guys deaf? Oh, shit, that's too funny. That was a start, brother. That's what matters. All right.
Yeah. Got to start somewhere.
I was noticing too that y'all kind of sound like Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great, like Stupid Girl and all that. Like the one you were just on the EP. It was Mirrors.
Oh, okay.
Like, so it reminds me of Cold.
Yeah. That's our original EP that we released. So we have like a 4-song original EP that we recorded like might have been 7 years ago now. Since then, we've gone on ahead and done like a 10-song record in Nashville, and we're slowly starting to release those songs. So, oh yeah, all that fun stuff.
Nashville? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Shit, did you ever expect that in your life? Going from somebody that handed you a bass guitar, like, what the fuck am I doing to
that? So the 4-song EP we actually did in Nashville as well. It was with Malcolm Springer. He did he worked on Collective Soul. I don't know if he was the engineer or producer on that one, and Grammy Award-winning producer. So he kind of broke us in on that 4-song record because we went from these dudes that didn't know our heads from our asses to figuring out how to be actual musicians that went and recorded in a legitimate studio and played legitimate shows. So, I mean, it was trial by fire with that 4-song EP, and we didn't quite have the financing and the time that I think we would have liked to have devoted to that. So we went back. I would say there might have been a 3 3 to 4 year gap, probably. Basically, when COVID hit, we were like, screw it, we can't play shows, so let's go write a record. And since then, I mean, we've got 10 songs done. I think on Spotify, it's like Hate Being Human, Tense, and then Make Believe are the newest songs released on that record. But going back to Mirrors, I mean, that's an OG song. That was a day one song that I learned when we were doing our open mics. So, I mean, some of them kind of made the cut and we've kind of revamped them. But, I mean, overall, our influences are like Cold and, Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, 10 Years, Seether, bands like that. I mean, bands we listened to on the radio in high school, middle school, stuff like that.
Those are great bands, brother. What? Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was jamming out to them too when my daughter was born. When I was working out back in the day, and Stained and Cold, like Homie said, and all those other bands. Absolutely, Puddle of Mud.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're fans of Nickelback. The haters can hate, but that original
Nickelback was cool. They had some
they throw down.
They'll hate, but they'll also be humming or singing along when the song comes on.
Of course, the foot's tapping.
They got a lot of.
People hate on Creed, but you'll be doing the
Oh, we love Creed. We are big Creed proprietors. Scott Stapp, if you're watching, go on ahead and let us jam with you. We'd love to be there. Our guitarist / lead singer, since we're a 3-piece, he warms up prior to shows with Creed songs half the time. So, I mean, we're fans. We like it all.
You won't believe this, but just a couple of weeks ago, I went to a festival here in Woodstock, Connecticut, where he was performing.
Damn, that'd be cool. I haven't had the opportunity to see him perform. I mean, we played with Tremonti at the Blue Note, his guitarist, of course, and that was awesome. But I'd love to see the original Creed lineup back at it. That's like a top 5 like bands I need to see before I die kind of thing.
One of mine is Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah, hell
I gotta
yeah.
get into that mosh pit, and I gotta do the Wall of Death with Lamb of God. I must. What up, man? This is Comic Network. Thank you for checking us out. You gotta check out this amazing band, folks. Right there for Dark Below. They are fire right there. Check out those links right there. Dark Below Official on YouTube and TikTok, and Dark Below Music on Meta. Sort of love.
Sorry, is Third Day Grace, or is it? They sang Riot.
Yeah, that's them.
I saw a concert with them. I think it was Puddle of Mud, Shine Down, and a few other people I can't remember, but they were playing their last song, and they're like I don't know, top dogs here said, you can come here, just don't play one song, this, that, and the other, but I'm loving this crowd, fuck them, let's start right. And dude, yeah, it went fucking retarded. It was insane.
Hell yeah, dude.
I just wasn't expecting
it. That's awesome. Yeah, I really like it when they kind of, do what rock bands typically do, and they just stick it to them when it's like, screw off, like, this is what the people want, we're here to party, let's get it going. Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I let them go with it if it's not going too crazy. But
yeah,
like I saw this band Nothing More, and they have a song called Salem, and he kept doing the burn the witch, and like everyone's like whatever. They were turning off the lights on them, like, because they were just repeating it over and over, and everyone's jumping up and celebrating, and like the lights were off, no more guitars anymore, but it's just him, burn the witch.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the way it should be.
That's what made me like them, because I accidentally missed most of the set, and then like, who the fuck are these guys?
Dude, they put on a good show. I saw them before they got huge, also at the Blue Note. Sound like a broken record, but I mean, they know how to put on a really good set.
Are you sponsored by the Blue Note?
Shit, they ought to be paying me at this rate.
Right? Yeah, let's go sponsorship Blue Note. We go for Dark Below now.
We were just there with Buckcherry the other week. Actually, we got to open up for them.
Thank you. You said it before I did. I want to say, wait a minute. You're telling me you toured it with one of the band, Buckcherry, as you mentioned, Saliva, Pop Evil, the Veer Union, Smile Empty Soul, amongst a few others. I mean,
I've heard Smile Empty Soul in a while.
Yeah. And
they still got it.
Oh yeah.
Of course they do. I'm sure. But rock
yeah.
dies, baby. Rocking them
Oh,
die.
yeah.
Woo!
That's right.
Are they the one? Which one is it? The one that kind of sounds like a reggae rock?
No, bottom of the bottle's probably their top hit that you probably recognize, but
Yeah. Oh
they're
yeah.
no, they're I would say that they're just hard rock, 2000s hard rock. They don't. I mean, they're straight up, right in your face.
Bro, and this guy's also humble, cuz you know that their last two singles, Tense and Hate Human Being, they charted top 25 on active rock radio. And their current single, we gotta talk about, Make Believe, is already in the top 20. All right. So, propulsive energy, world song vibe, the influences you mentioned. Talk about the single, man. How you feel about that? I mean, you guys are gonna start charting and soon y'all gonna be number one. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Yeah, well, I mean, today, Make Believe, our latest single, the numbers just came out. We hit number 10. So it's our first time breaking the top 10. So, I mean, to say that we're excited is honestly, I think we're in more disbelief than excited at this point. It's like, holy shit, like we, fi- we finally cracked the top 10. I don't know, me, since Craigslist 10 years ago to now,
Craig,
if you'd have told me 10 years ago, like, hey, you all are going to do this, I mean, like, whatever, dude. Like, what are you smoking? But I don't know. It's beyond belief. And I mean, last weekend we went out with Rehab and played a couple shows, if you remember them. And this weekend we're going out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man, they put on a hell of a show. Let me tell you, we had a good party in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and then we went down to Texas on Saturday. So that was a hell of a time. And those
Where'd
dudes are
y'all go
awesome.
in Texas?
We went to Palestine, Texas. Rehab was getting ready to go out.
Like north over there by Dallas?
My
East?
Texas, yeah, it'd be east. Texas geography isn't super dialed in, but we'll actually be back in Texas this weekend with Scotty Austin, who played with Saving Abel. He was a front man there for a while, and he just started his new band. So we'll have two shows in Texas this weekend. But to be honest with you, cracking the top 10, that has been something that we've been aiming for since we recorded this record back during COVID. So the fact that we're up there and making those moves, it's like I'm ready to release the next single. Let's go on ahead and see where this thing goes from there.
Oh, bro, I can't wait. Let's give a little sample, folks. Just a tad, because you know how white TV playing around, and I hope Josh's record label understands we're helping here, folks.
We're independent, so you can play whatever you want.
Oh, wonderful. Woo! My God, folks, I want you to listen to the whole thing. You have to go sign up, check them out over on Spotify. You could search for Dark Below. You could go on TikTok, YouTube, and check them at Dark Below Official. You need to listen to this whole fire track. So, what's that inspiration, though? I mean, for real, where were you guys at? I mean, how did you even create? You said this was during COVID. So, did you guys see each other? Was this like a remote creation? What was the process like then?
Sure. So, I mean, during COVID, I mean, for us as the band, life did not change outside of not being able to schedule shows. So, I mean, we still got together, we practiced like normal, and then at that point, we've got a guy, we call him our manager. I mean, he's basically the everything for us that has kept us in the game and directed us. But he was like, boys, we're not doing jack shit. We need to sit down, and it's time to put some new songs together and get it figured out. Because there's nothing else to do at the moment. We're like, well, that makes sense. We've been writing the same 6 or 7 original songs from the beginning. So at that point, the Lake of the Ozarks is pretty close. So we had a condo rented out. We'd go down, do a lot of acoustic sessions, or camp out at each other's houses, just try and get a foundation for, at the time, what we thought was a new 4-song EP. After that, we went to Nashville and started tracking the first couple songs, and they were like, well, we're here. And again, everybody, no one can do anything still. Why don't we just keep writing? Next thing you know, it turned into 10 songs, and like, ah, it blew up. To be honest with you, I don't think anybody expected it to go from a couple songs to a record, especially pushing to the radio like it's going. So that was kind of the big push. I mean, COVID was kind of the catalyst for us to sit down and actually get our shit together to a certain extent. Because before that, we were just going through the motions, I would say, to a certain extent. So blessing in disguise, really, as much as it can be.
Sounds like it. It's great when you start rolling like that and everything just starts coming together. Like you're saying, like you figure, oh, we're just gonna fuck around for a little bit. Next thing you know, you have a record. Like,
yeah.
Did y'all have to cut any songs out or anything that didn't, or whatever y'all did, it stuck, it stayed?
So, I mean, I think that we have more in the tank that we didn't get to, it didn't get, worked through, or, sometimes you start a song and you kind of just hit a snag where it's like, what direction are we going to take this song? So we have already been talking about, starting the next record process. And of course that's just, talking after shows, things like that. We don't have anything in the tank quite yet, but I mean, there's a foundation for quite a few songs. The hats off to the guitar player, though, the lead singer as well. He's a man of many talents. Basically, I mean, he kind of comes up with a good riff or a good, lyric, and then we take it from there. So that's kind of the foundation of our writing process is, oh, hey, that sounds cool. Let's see where that takes us, and everybody kind of chips in from there. So don't be shocked if we start recording some new tunes here before too terribly long.
You better bring us some new tunes. Let me give us another sample because Tense is another one that was something going on. So let's give us a little sample of that bad boy too. Take the
Sure.
song. Woo, my God! Again, folks, I'm just only teasing you here. You guys gotta listen to, you gotta subscribe to their joint. Go check it out. Their jams is fire. All right. So I mean, all right. So what's really the next move? What are you guys doing, yo? I mean, what tours are you doing? What's the next move for an album? I mean, are you guys really sitting down now? Have you guys met in person?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, right now we are working on booking shows throughout the rest of the fall, winter months, and into the beginning of the new year. That's our biggest, push at the moment. I mean, we're still releasing singles off of the current record. We're still working through the logistics of how many singles we're going to release before the whole thing comes out. But I mean, playing shows, getting our name out there, and getting in front of as many people as possible is really, the overall objective. We'll be in Louisiana on Friday, and then Texas on Saturday and Sunday with Scotty Austin. Those dudes are awesome, and they're they've given us the time of day, and they'd like to bring us out on the road. And we went out with them over the summer as well. So big shout out to those dudes for sure. But at the end of the day, right now, it's just getting out in front of people, letting them know we're here, and then after that, we'll get back in the studio and cut something new. That's the overall idea. But the more shows we can play, the more people we can get in front of, the merrier. So, booking shows, playing shows.
Where at in Louisiana?
I believe it's Crowley. Don't ask me the venue though. But
I used to live there.
Okay. Yeah. I don't recall the venue off the top of my head. Smarter guy would have jotted down some notes, but the Crowley is on Friday, and then we have two in Texas over the weekend. One is kind of East Texas, and the other one's kind of Central Texas, but I could not tell you the towns, unfortunately. Maybe if you check out our Facebook page at the link below, you will be able to
let's
check.
do that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm about to say the only Crowley I know is Victor Crowley from the movie Hatchet. You know.
That's
Okay.
partly why I'm. Oh, yeah, that's part. Well, it was a either Ozzy or Black Sabbath song. That's why I chose to live there because I was working in rain, and I was like,
Nice.
"Holy, yeah, this."
Hell yeah. Great song, by the way, that Mr.
Oh yeah.
Crowley. Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, here we go. You know what I'm saying? You go with the rhythm by ear, but would you recommend kids learn their notes or follow their heart, play by the ear if they got like that? Do you think note learning is getting back to that is important? Or do you think playing by the soul has that equal power to it? What up?
So I think that it's important to at least have a basic understanding. I mean, you have to at least have your foundation. I mean, I'm selling myself short a little bit by saying I don't know anything about anything, but it's good. I would say to have a mix of both. I would just say don't dive too deep into each one unless you're a savant. You got to have that broad spectrum. You got to be able to walk into a studio and know how to handle yourself. But at the end of the day, you got to feel what you got to feel, and that's where some of the best music comes from, is just going by feel. It's not all pen and paper. Sometimes you just got to lay it down and play it out.
Do you dig into anyone's energy in particular? And do you have, if you will, someone that you look up to as a bassist?
That's a tough one. I mean, a lot of my inspiration comes from the old days of like the hard rock from the 2000s on the radio. One song that resonates with me a lot that I just remember listening to the bass line and I was like, oh shit, like that's pretty cool. Champagne by Cavo, if you remember that song, that it's just that running bass line right up front where it's like, oh damn, like that's not a guitar, that's a bass player. Like, I mean, you could go back over any generation essentially with rock music, and you hear those songs with that bass that just punches you in the face, and people almost mistake it for a guitar. And it's like, all right, like there's a little bit more of a presence here than what the layman might see and interpret. So, but overall, I'm not. For me personally, I'm not a big like YouTube guy where I sit down and watch this person or this person. I just turn on a song, I hear it, and I'm like, damn, like that's a cool kick-ass song. Lately, Beartooth, their bass player has been throwing down some sick bass lines, like Skin by Beartooth. That bass line is phenomenal. And then also Space Hog in the Meantime, that's another bass line that really kind of gets me going, where the bass player is the lead singer, and I don't know if I can play the bass line, let alone sing the song and play the bass line. It's like, how do you do that? Like, it's incredible. So I mean, I have some inspirations here and there, but I don't, soak up one or the other. It's just whatever, resonates, I would say.
Excellent. You guys need to make plans to hit the Northeast. I mean, come on now. We love our rock out here. Why are you guys denying us? Why?
Well, the Northeast, depending on where you're at, is anywhere from 14 to 18 hours away from Central Missouri. So you got to bear with us. We're branching that way, but it takes a little time. Right now, the farthest we're going is like Tennessee and Kentucky, eastern wise. But we're going to start making our way up there here pretty quick. We do have a booking agency that we just recently signed with. They're called Full Circle Entertainment. And if you have venue recommendations for us, or people we might need to reach out to, or bands that would be great to play with, venues, radio stations, we would be happy to get that coordinated. And if we can make it work, we'll be up there. That's on our list of things to do.
And now Caleb is gonna say no. I need them on my side of the turf.
And he's so far over there. That'd be a when you going west.
West. Now that's a significantly farther trek than the east, unfortunately. Out to the west. We just played with a band the other week that's from Seattle. They're like, oh, come up, we'll trade shows, all that good stuff. They were awesome, but it's like, dude, going to Seattle takes 2 days from here to get there if we just drive it straight. So it's like we we got to get some ducks in a row before we go on ahead and head that far out there.
Yeah,
But again, we're all about it. It's just, you know, making that progress. We all have day jobs right now, so it's like, you know, making that leap from the weekend warriors to the full-time musicians. That's kind of our next transition as well.
How do you balance that, brother? How do you balance that? I mean, you know, that talent, weekend shows, family, friends, you know, I mean, life, you know, between that work and music.
It's tough, man. Like we just went out the last 3 days, and you know, I caught up on sleep this morning. We got back a day and a half ago. You know, it's like my day job. I'm a mortgage loan officer. Like I have a very normal day job that requires a lot of people and attention and all that fun stuff. And got a dog and a long-term girlfriend and a house to keep up with, all that fun stuff. And it's just, I don't know, make a list and execute, I guess. You know, you just, at the end of the day, whatever gets you through it to the next couple shows, and you get up on that stage, and it's worth the sleep, lack of sleep, and the, you know, frustrations in between. I mean, you just make it work. It's the way it goes.
And Caleb, homie's gonna be in a suit selling you a mortgage, and then, you know, you're gonna go to a bar at night.
Maybe that's what you should do, is like convince your company, like, dude, we need to go to like Nevada, California. We got it's a business trip. And then on your side time, you just go and play a couple clubs.
Yeah.
Like a superhero. You sneak in the equipment and the guys in the trunk, you know?
That's right.
You're doubling up too, because you're getting paid the whole time, and then you're getting paid for the gigs.
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm already working from the road from the laptop.
Your company a letter, so.
All right, I appreciate that. I'll send you the address. You mail it on in.
I wish we had a mortgage loan dude out here.
That's right. I'll go door to door, I swear.
Let's make it happen, America. This is what we need, yo. We need good music, traveling all over, you know. Look at it. Finally, the mid somewhere got signed, you know? Damn, I'm jealous. You know, the West Coast got great bands. I mean, I have not spoken to an ill East Coast band yet. I mean, what's going on?
That's true.
I don't know. I'm sure they're out there, man. I'm sure they're out there. You just gotta find them.
I haven't found the one that'll talk tough shit. It's just you awesome bands, you know, that are just smashing it. Because I spoke the other day, you know, we spoke to of Limbo from California. Wow, another tremendous band. You should check them out. I'm like, what the heck? Wow. So if you want to get West Coast, there you go. Hook up with them.
There we go. Well, if we can make that trip out, I'm sure we'll be making some phone calls to make it happen.
Oh, that'll be a fun, because they different. I'll make a fun concert for real. All right, so what's Bobby? What you got to tell kids up and coming in general to be musicians or just stepping into the game right now, based on your experience thus far?
Stick with it and don't be afraid to like go join a band or start something or do something that sucks. And then, you know, you honestly, being terrible is the best way to grow and get better. Like you got to go out and you got to take the risk, because if you don't start, you're not going to do it at all. It's like, I got a buddy that he's been playing guitar for a real long time, and he was like, man, I wish I could do that. And it's like, dude, you can. Like, you just have to go do it. And you know, some people just don't want to make that leap, or they're hesitant to do so. And it's like, go hit an open mic night. What's the worst that's going to happen? 5 people aren't going to like you. So what? There are hundreds of people that probably don't like us, thousands of people. It's like, we like what we do. If you like what you do, go out and do it. Take the risk, take the chance, get together with your friends, drink a bunch of beers and write some music, like cover some songs, you know, whatever you got to do.
I love it. That's it, Caleb. You and I are gonna make the greatest merengue song that ever. All right, like you said.
Yeah. Give it a go.
I feel like a lot of your music though would just be kind of like DJ Khaled, where you're just saying your name, like Al Mega, and then someone just comes in like heavy metal.
There you go. Yeah, a heavy metal weapon. There you go. Let's go. I would love to do it. Why not? You know what I mean? We now know an amazing bassist right here. All right. That we could invite to the set. And like, all right, bro, since I do have a set now, let's rock out over here, you know, and let's make the heavy metal mega weapon song.
We could do like the old timey sets, like back in the I wouldn't really say jazz, but like the 20s gangsters time. So like you have your stuff going on, and then it gets kind of slow and like, all right, I'm gonna call on Josh Grove to give us a groovy bass line, and then you come up and it's 10 minutes.
Back to the Wild West, because Caleb looks like he belongs right now in the Wild West.
He's got a good mustache going there. Maybe a little chops on the side.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that flow.
I originally did it to piss my wife off, but then she was like all about it.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, because I was just dicking with her, and she was like, she didn't want something to happen or whatever, so I couldn't do it. I was like, well, you know what? You love my beard so much. And then she was like, I actually am into it. So I was like, well, because I'm kind of in between. So this second time around.
You know what? I could probably understand why she says she's into it. There's nothing in the way now. Less interference.
The flavor saver.
Well, there you go. Well, all right. So with that, Kevin, any other questions for our man, Mr. Grover here? The amazing basis for the dopest band that y'all people need to be listening to today. Especially right there, their YouTube, check it out. They got mad tunes right there you can check out and like you really be grooving to. This is an amazing band, and I see there's nothing but great things. Seeing some Grammys coming your way when y'all start doing it. You're not gonna sell mortgages much longer, my brother. I foresee that.
Hope not. Hope you're right there. Yeah, I'd like to make it a full-time gig.
You're doing it, so it's gonna be. Let's go, baby.
Hell yeah.
That's right. So again, folks, follow them, show the love. This is what you gotta do, and you also gotta follow my big homie Caleb, because he's also a creator out there doing his things, having a good time. So you can follow him on X at Caleb Taylor numero uno.
Caleb L. Taylor.
Huh?
Caleb L. Taylor.
Caleb L. Is that for Lawrence?
It's for Lethino. No.
What?
No, it's Lee. Nothing too fancy.
Hey, Lee. Now he's gonna call you Lee Taylor, bro. That's it, bro.
I tried that back in school. People weren't about it.
It's
time to bring it back.
Lee Taylor.
Now it's my turn.
Lee Taylor, the man with the chops. You know what I mean? Right? So thanks for hanging out with me, Caleb and Mr. Grove. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Music Crusaders. JJ will be back real soon. So much luck out there with the kiddo. Can't wait to have you back so you can chit chat and share your knowledge with the fam. All right. So hasta la próxima, gente. Much love. We appreciate you. Follow all over the place. Hasta la próxima. I'm trying to find my outro. This is what we do. Hasta la próxima. Bye.